Every single day, in everything that you do, you are making a choice. And a choice, by definition, is when you're choosing to do one thing over another or multiple options. And some of these choices are just affecting you. For example, I could choose to make my posture better, or I could choose to talk in a certain kind of way. But there's other choices that are actually going to directly or indirectly affect the entire world around you and the people in it. And these are the choices that we need to talk about today. Let's see how this plays out practically, and we'll use my day as an example, which is probably, honestly, quite similar to yours. You wake up, and you'll probably run into someone within the first 5 minutes of getting out of bed. It'll probably be your parents, and as you're about to make breakfast, you remember that your parents are paying for that breakfast, and they're actually paying for the roof over your head or the bed you just slept in, and you have the simple choice of, giving them a hug or just saying, "Hey, Dad, good morning," or something like that. Your siblings might be up too, and you might run into them, and this is your first chance to do something that will have a greater effect on just you today. It might be kind of weird and awkward to tell your siblings good morning or, "Hey, how's it going?" I mean, that might just be me. Who doesn't like to be reminded that they're loved and seen and appreciated? And I think the people that deserve this most, that we often overlook the most, is actually our tribe, our people that by blood will be there for us for the rest of our lives. Show them some love today. Now, if you are like me and currently away at school, then you don't have parents to say good morning to, or your siblings. And in that case, you probably have roommates. And roommates are a certain kind of relationship where you could absolutely never talk to them again that's outside of like, "Hey, can you do the dishes?" or "Hey, can you take out the trash?" But don't we want something a little greater? And it's simply easier sometimes. It takes less effort to talk to people that you're not that close with, because your roommates you might not be so close with. But that small pleasantry of the same, "Hey, good morning, bro. I hope you have a good day at school," or something that's not so cringe as I just made it sound, that goes a long, long way. And remember, this video is about doing good when you specifically could not have done anything. And this is a perfect example. You could easily ignore them. But don't we want to do good when we could have done nothing? Now, I'm taking the bus to school. So the door swings open, and the familiar face of the bus driver is there. And I could, ignore him and just go to my seat. After all, it's their job to drive me around. I don't have to say it. They're going to do it anyway. But can't I just say, "Hey, good morning. How's it going?" And then when I leave the bus, same thing. "Thank you so much." My bus has a rotation of around 7 different drivers, and they're all honest people that are very sweet and doing good work. And these people deserve a little love and appreciation. If Fortnite has taught us one thing, it's to thank the bus driver. Always thank the bus driver. One of my drivers in particular stands out to me. He'll often make comments about maybe the band t-shirt you're wearing, or a comment about the most recent football game. And it makes me a little sad, because when he looks into the rearview mirror, he just sees a lot of people on their phones, or the most that he gets is a little chuckle or a little laugh. I mean, he just wants to enjoy the probably tedious, monotonous task of driving from stop to stop to stop to stop and make it a little better, and all he gets is a small chuckle from very sad-looking college kids. And I could ignore him too, and I could give him a little chuckle, and I could just go back to whatever fleeting pleasure that was on my phone that might make me kind of happy for about 20 seconds, but probably won't. Or I could be there and, make a little conversation back. And that conversation is going to bring me much more pleasure and joy than that one 20-second video ever could. And it keeps going, and then the next time I see him, it's the same little friendship, acquaintanceship. I mean, I'm not friends with this 50-year-old man, but, we're chill like that. The thing about your phone is that the pleasure is fleeting. It's like the moment never existed as soon as you swipe to the next video. Real life connection is probably, it's so much more fulfilling. And if you're struggling with your phone addiction, I check out the first link in the description as soon as you finish this video. And out of all of my bus driver rotation, he's the only one that has ever played music. And whenever a song comes on, he'll talk about how, "Oh, this is the song I played at my wedding for my wife." And it's just, there's what he clearly wants to have a conversation. And we owe it to these people that might be kind of lonely to have a little conversation with them. We're doing good when we could have done absolutely nothing. These are good people, and if you know someone is a good person, they deserve a good morning just like you do. And he's choosing good by, again, he doesn't need to talk to us. It's just his job. He's choosing to do good when he could do nothing at all. And I highly, highly doubt he'll ever see this video. But if he did, I would want him to know that he is making my mornings and afternoons better. And I'm sure he's doing it for the rest of the kids too. And it's small things like that that we all appreciate, and we can try to do more of ourselves. We're off the bus, and now we're walking into school. I'm not in high school anymore, but if I was, I'd probably say good morning to the security guards as well. Again, they're just doing their job. They're there to protect you or whatever. But come on, like, they're actually usually some of the most chill people you'll ever talk to. Same thing with like the janitors. And my main takeaway from high school is that it's this thing that honestly sucks, but you are forced to be there. And like we have a choice to do good, we have a choice to try to enjoy school. specifically because the amount of people that you see every single day at school is honestly just mind-boggling. You're never going to be able to talk to every single one of them, but every single time you do talk to them, you're likely going to feel better after than you did going into the conversation, because it's that human connection, especially in a place that is such a hellhole like school. And as much as high school did suck, some of my best memories actually are from that time period. And if we have a choice to try, at least try to enjoy it, why not try to enjoy it? And most of the memories have came from my friendships in school. It's not that I'm just in some random like chemistry class where I'm like, yeah, this is a great memory. It's when I'm having fun with my friends in school, when I chose to have fun and be myself rather than just have my headphones in all day and, you know, watch TikTok in class or something. We gotta be more present. It's the only way we're ever gonna feel more satisfaction in our lives. And there's also multiple ways to do this. I think you can and should be that one kind of weird kid that is saying hello to the security guard that yells at everyone. Because then he won't yell at you, but also. And being the one person that, you know, tells your teacher, have a good afternoon. This isn't really being a teacher's pet. It was choosing to do good. And we could have done nothing at all. I need to stop saying that. It's getting repetitive, but you get the point. I mean, think about how dark of a world it would be if no one smiled at each other or just made small talk. It would be depressing as hell, and you shouldn't be that one person that is the positivity, the light in a place so dark. And that can be anywhere. Especially with our phones and how prevalent social media is, that is the direction we're going into, a dark, depressive place. And it is up to people like you and hopefully me that are gonna reverse this course. But class is finished and you're hungry, so you ask your good friend and you ask them, hey, you wanna get some Chipotle? And you get to Chipotle and the line is really long, and the person who's taking your order asks you those first 3 questions. What kind of rice do you want? What kind of beans do you want? And what kind of protein do you want? And when they're done with that bowl, they're gonna put you on to the next person, but you should thank them for making you those 3 things in the first place. Again, it's their job, you could ignore them, you get the point. These people are working very hard for not the most best pay in the entire universe, and if I were working at Chipotle, I would want the people that I'm serving to be a little bit appreciative. Not because that's like I'm entitled to it, but it would just feel good. That's the thing. None of us are ever entitled to kindness from anyone else, ever. But doesn't it feel so much better when you do receive that kindness? So people are not entitled to you giving them love, but give them love anyway because you know how good it feels. It's the same thing when the cashier gives you your food after, of course. Just say thank you, bro. It's literally not that complicated. And if you're feeling extra good, you could even pay for your friend's bowl, but that's honestly, I wouldn't even do that. You get home and you decide a couple hours later to go for a nice little walk. The weather is beautiful and it's so nice out that you just want to go out. So you walk and you notice people are being a little bit more receptive than usual. And it's probably because of your pretty ass smile that is just there and you're saying hello to people. Now, it's unrealistic to be smiling at everyone all the time. I mean, only psychopaths do that. But when you are coming across people on your little walk, even to that little white person, like, that goes a long way. I mean, I try to do it to everyone, and I don't do it to everyone, but that effort is way better than doing nothing at all. Even that little. To spread positivity in this world, a smile is probably the cornerstone, the crux, the most important part of all of it. All those cute little conversations that we had earlier don't mean anything if you say them like this. Have a good day. Thanks. All right, you too. Appreciate it. Like, or if I'm saying, hey, have a good day. Thank you for driving me. I really appreciate you. I didn't even change the tone of my voice. Literally just smiling makes you talk in a happier way and people are way more receptive and nice to you. It all starts with a smile and your teeth are beautiful, so just show them. It's literally the best feeling in the world. And that is smiling. Smiling literally, scientifically proven, makes you feel better and happier. We're going to continue on our walk, and this is going to be the final example of this video. If you made it this far into the video, please comment Sony, and I really appreciate you. But you notice that on the floor, in the beautiful glistening sun that has a little bit of dew on it because it's just so nice out, some jits had left a Geek Bar box, which is a disposable vape, by the way, on the grass there. And you could easily walk by it. It's not your responsibility. You didn't litter it. And the world is not going to change because you picked it up, but you do it anyway. And I kid you not, I am not making this up. When I see litter, especially in a place that is as beautiful as where I am right now, or even just in my neighborhood, I pick it up. I mean, someone else could have done it, and someone else probably will do it, but why not just let it be you, man? See it as a good thing, because some jit wanted to be a little shithead actually gives you this opportunity to do some good in the world, and no one wants to see litter when they're walking, so you're doing everyone else a favor, and I kid you not, it just feels good. Have you ever picked up litter when it's not supposed to be somewhere? It feels so good, and I'm not making this up. I swear to you, this is what I genuinely do. So basically, there are so many opportunities in every single day. I probably covered like 1% of all the possibilities of doing good when you could have done nothing at all. And it's never your responsibility to do good, but because we know how good it feels, we're gonna do it back to other people. Really, really could go the rest of your life without doing good and putting your head down and just being in your own world, but is that really the life you wanna live? I don't think so. So if you want to reclaim your life, I'll check out the first link in the description, and music is also in the description, yada yada yada. Have a beautiful rest of your day.